Hello, 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 stamping friends. This is Caron, your ATX stamping lady. Guys, I wanted to come with you really quickly this evening just to share with you a few quick tips. All right. So, again, I'm Caron Bailey. I'm your independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and tonight I'm here to share with you, like I said, a couple of tips. Do you order dies from Stampin' Up? And do you ever get these cute little pockets and then you kind of wonder, well, what am I going to do with these? Well, tonight's video is all about tips for what I do with my sleeves. Some people call them pockets, some people call them sleeves, and how I tend to use, reuse, and repurpose these pockets slash sleeves. Now, these are what they look like when they come from Stampin' Up. Your dies are in them. Let me grab one for you. So in this set that I just bought, this is a Stampin' Die set called Frozen Edges. And so when it comes, I already took it apart, you guys. So the dies come in this pocket like so. So how I organize and how I store is I take them all out and I put them in a sleeve. In my household, like in most crafters, space is at a premium. So I don't have a lot of space, and so because I don't have a lot of space, I tend to recycle these. I take my stamps out of this when I get them, and I put them in a sleeve. Now this is a checkout store sleeve that is, let's see, this is maybe about a 5 3/4, 5 7/8 by say 7 1/2 maybe. That's about what this is. And so when I get them, I will take my dies out of the sleeve. I'll take my stamp out of the case, and I will go ahead and I will just change these over onto magnet sheets. I'll add a label. I'm doing it while I'm talking to you guys, right? So you'll see exactly what I do. I will put a label right on top of here. My label will tell you what's the coordinating stamp set, suite, product, if whatever it is, the catalog that it comes in, the page number you can find it on. That kind of thing is what I put on my sleeves. And then I will take the dies that I put on a magnet sheet, put it right back on this. I'll keep it in here. And together with the die set, or with the stamp set, I will put them in a sleeve or a pocket, whichever one you want to call it. And this is how I store my stamp sets when I get them. Now I'll have a label on the back that has all the same information that I have on the dies. But then I'm left with these awesome pockets. Now what do I do with these pockets? Now these pockets are a little bit narrower than the ones before, because this is about a 5 and maybe a 5 1/4 by 7 1/2. So this is what this is, about a 5 1/4. So tonight's video is I'm going to share some tips as to how you can reuse, repurpose, and recycle these to create storage options in your craft room. First things first is, do you have ephemera packages? Sometimes once you take them out, depending on where you get them from, they come in these little cellophane bags. Guys, one of the things that I absolutely detest, seriously, is the little sticky things here, because they get in the way every time once they've been opened. So what I generally tend to do is I take these out of here. One of my options for storage is here, like so. And I will add a label. Well, I put them in the wrong way, facing way, right? And that's your preference. When I have this, I prefer to look this way, so I want everything to be facing forward facing that way. Then I'll add a label, and then I will put these away, safe and secure, and this is use number 1. You can use this to store your ephemera. Okay? Use number 2. Oh, I have another ephemera pack for you. So the other things that these will fit in is the new Stampin' Up! Also ephemera packs, right? These already come pre-packaged, shrink-wrapped, and from Stampin' Up! Just like this. This is the tags for the season. That's what this is. And so all I will do, and you have options. Now, I tried it this morning, and the chipboard makes it a little bulky, so you can't really fit the chipboard piece in there, right? So I will save the chipboard. You have the option of how to save this, and again, I have a label that's already made. You can store them as is, or you can tear them apart, break them apart, and store them already cut aparts. Okay? But I'm going to leave them as is in this folder, and this will also be ready and packed for use whenever I'm ready for it. And just like that, oops, this package is secure. Look at that, right? And the thing about this is now these are so uniform that when I put them in a shoebox or one of the fridge bins, these will stack very nicely where they need to be. The other thing is, again for storage, is Memories and More card packs. This is an old one, right? This is from Delightfully Detailed. Now I don't see a number on here, right? But it fits the entire card pack. Okay? And I left that in here so you can see, always know what the product is. So a complete Memories and More card pack fits in these sleeves. Okay? All right. Another use for these, and I'll share those with you, is there are times when I will trim down some cardstock, some 12 by 12 designer series paper into 4-inch squares, 4 by 6 pieces. And when I did that, they all fit. This was from the Snowflake Splendor, again labels, designer series paper. And I tend to do more cards that are for the designer series paper that starts at 4 by 5.25. So when I cut down that pack, I cut it down into 4 by 6, and then I can trim it off to whatever I need for it to be. And then that whole pack fit right nicely into the sleeve or the pocket. So that's use number, 3? Ephemera, Memories and More, pre-cut designer series paper. The other thing that I use them for is, on occasion, I will buy stamps from other companies. This one is a Gina K set, right? And so what I tend to do is, because I like things to be uniform, I will then take the Gina K products out of hers packaging. Okay, this is the stamp set. This is the dies. Beautiful thing is Gina K sends the magnet strip in there, so I don't have to worry about that. I will put the stamp set, because as much as possible, I will try to store stamp and die together, right? And so there we go. Stamp is in. And here are the dies. And now I haven't done any of the labeling, but I will do the labeling later on, because I didn't make labels for these yet. I will just lay these out on the magnet sheet. Oops. And one of the other things that I do with my magnet sheets, you guys, is just for ease, for lack of a better term, I will go in with a Sharpie or a paint pen or something like that. Let me share with you the entire process, right? And I'll show you what I do. Right? Once I have put them in place and laid them out, I will go in with as soon as I can put my eyes on it. I saw it this morning. I don't know why I'm not seeing it now. I have these paint pens that I got from, I think was Michael's. Where are my paint pens? Or you can use a Sharpie. I tend to use my silver Sharpie when I can put my hands on it, or I will use my gold Sharpie, or any kind of a gold colored marker, right? Here's this, and then what I will do is I will just go ahead and outline that way. When I take something off, because there's an outline, I will know exactly where to put it back, and then I'll also notice what's missing if I ever happen to misplace something. So that's what I will end up doing to all of them. To include the Stampin' Up! Ones, I don't just do other brands, I do all of them. That way I have an idea where things go when I'm putting things back. So I'll finish that later. But now that this is on the magnetic strip, the fifth thing that I do is I will put this in here like so. And again, I maintain uniformity in sizes when I'm storing and putting things away. Okay? So that's the other thing that I do with them. One of the other things that I do with these, let me grab this trash and move this out of the way. These are the older Stampin' Up! Pockets. I still use these as well because, again, I don't throw anything out. You guys, here's another tip for what you can do with them. I don't know about you, but when I buy embellishments, I tend to buy them in maybe 2s and 3s and so on and so forth, right? So what I will do is, well, these will fit in here, right? These will fit in here very closely. Provided they can fit in here, I will group like gems together and I will place them in here. Oh, why are you not fitting? And sometimes because of width, they won't fit, right? And I will put them right in here. Oh, it's got caught here. It got caught right there. All right. And I will go ahead. It might be easier to take them out of here. If I have to take them out of here, I will take them out, put them on here, and then put a label or a sleeve, a label on it so I know exactly which ones these are. Let me find a set that fits. Okay. All right, well, here's some. These are from Alton. All right, let's try one of these. Okay. And all I do is I put them right in here, like to like, label them, and then I have a pocket to store my gems. So those are just a few tips of some of the things that you can do to save space. Let me tell you some of the other things that I've done with this. I don't have any more here, but one of the things that I have done, I pre-cut my my basic white panels. I pre-cut them. So if I'm getting ready to go on go to one of my friends' house to do anything, I will just grab a handful of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'll stick them in my pocket, and I have a handful of card fronts that's already cut to size that I take with me to crops, and I don't have to worry about doing any extras. Now, the other thing, and this is one of the most important ones that I wanted to share with you guys today, one of the key things that I do with them is I use them for paper storage. 1 second. I gotta go grab one. Okay. I put almost everything in sleeves, okay? So with this sleeve, this is my real red cardstock. And so I create a folder, a pocket, for every single color that I have remaining. And when I cut my real red cardstock and I have scraps, you guys, I keep my scraps in here. Okay? So this is a godsend. And then once I put my scraps in, I stick it back in here with the cardstock so that when I'm creating again and I just need a little piece of real red for whatever purpose, here you go, it's already here. So I'm glad you took the time to pop in with me today as I shared with you just a few tips and tricks of how to use, reuse, repurpose, and recycle the stamp pockets, the die pockets that come with the Stampin' Up! Dies. You guys, if you have any other questions, if you have any tips as to how you recycle, how you reuse and repurpose them, please reach out to me and share them with me. I would love to see how many different ways that you reuse these pockets. You guys, I am Caron Bailey. I am your independent demonstrator here at Stampin' Up in the beautiful city of Austin, Texas. Thanks for popping into my YouTube channel as I shared these quick tips and tricks with you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Happy stamping!